What's up guys, Ethan from the Happy Pill Project. Another arm drag video coming at you today. This one has some excellent details on what to do when your opponent crowds you, as well as some amazing entries into leg locks. Stick with us all the way to the end to find out why Professor Mike thinks you should skip Ashi Garami and go directly to the reap. Also, we know that you have to subscribe to this page before you leave, right? But did you also know that you have to share this video? Yeah, it's true. Everybody knows at least 200 to 300 people who could desperately use these arm drag details. Make sure you get them this video. It could save their life. Be a friend. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or want to make a technique request, drop us a note in the comments section. Thanks so much for your support, everybody.
Drill, and then we'll chain the sequence that's different. Keep it super simple, right? Get control of the hands. I'm constantly pushing these hands down. I'm asking you to throw your hand through this triangle pocket as high up as possible. Try not to go for the elbow line. You're never reaching, you're never clawing, you're never grabbing, okay? Guy's wet. You can't think that way. If I start grabbing a wet noodle, it's going to come out every single time. So it's the mechanics of how I want to grab it. So I'm constantly pressing this down. That doesn't take, I can press a wet noodle down all the time. So my secondary hand and how we left off is I'm asking you to learn, whether it be 2-on-1 grip, that I'm sliding in and out, in and out, in and out, okay? Whether it's inside grip, I'm sliding in and out, in and out. So my first reaction is I grabbed onto the hand. My second reaction is to throw this hand as deep through this triangle as possible. What I grab, I don't know. I'm hoping to throw a fishnet out and take something back with me, okay? So as I throw this hand long, I'm not reaching and grabbing, I'm making a false grip hook, okay? So as I come back, I'm yanking and pulling as hard as I possibly can, and this is what he looks like. What happens after this, we don't know yet. I'm gonna ask you to drill it left side, right side. You're on for 90 seconds on the drill, so you're learning how to arm drag. The reason I'm asking you to go in and out of the pocket like this and be able to slide is for one reason, is you gotta learn how to use those muscles because it plays into other portions. You can tell me you got hamstrings. Okay, you can tell me you're good at yoga. You can tell me all these things that you're good at. There's different muscles and different activations and patterns. I tell this all the time. I see people do amazing yoga, and it comes to BJJ, they have no flexibility. Different form of flexibility from different angles. Same principle here. Different form in how you're firing your muscles. You're pressing in with your glutes. You're activating, going in and out. And the reason I'm having you go in and out is I go long like this and shooting in, and he flares. I got to be able to shoot out just as quickly because he just beat me off that hook, right? So I got to be able to go in and out. I also want to be able to go, okay, we're playing, I'm in. And now I'm yanking back hard to pull. So we're going left side, right side. And now if you like, from this position when he comes up, I don't know what he's going to do yet. We're going to play at different angles. Sometimes he'll bring this leg up. Sometimes he'll flare. Sometimes he'll drive forward. We got to have an answer for every single thing he does. So on the first one, I'm going left, right, left, right. Remember the mechanics, okay? The reason I'm pressing it down is I'm giving counter pressure. So there's nothing gripping. There's never a squeeze or a grab on my part. Other than I'm pressing and I'm throwing through, mechanically, my hands could be open and I could still pull the move off. So I'm not letting him activate the muscle, changing the mechanics and the dynamic. I should have some form of control. I shouldn't be swinging out in the wind because I want to feel if he switches the hip. So these insteps should be connected either on the inside hooking so I can slide in and out, or they should be 2-on-1 where I'm grabbing onto an ankle that I can go. But I need him. I want to feel him flaring. I also want to feel him, the connection that I can go in and off of him. Okay, guys? Let's partner up on the drill first. Fishing at it, we'll drag to both sides of the combos. The combos are endless in this position. You're like this, all right? And now you want shot throw, and you pull this thing like this. And I know everybody wants to come here and then think that you're just going to come out and make this big turn over the top and get us back. Man, what is it? This is a beginner then. You're not going to move? Of course he's going to move. Like, that's silly. You're not going to get anybody like that. You come in here and then you're pulling back and you're doing this and you're thinking you're going to go around that turn. And I know, hey, I would love to be able to go and reach. But the moment you start coming out and start trying to come here, he's got to flare the hip, right? He's going to have, or he's got to come and either go down for me and drag on me. And now he's like this, and I go, huh? And I start closing the pockets. I know right now we're going to do this. We're going to flare the hip. But you're going to have combos on it where you're going to go, no, I'm not flaring. Because every time I flare, you come up, right? So I'm going to ask you now to do the drill on the come up. You're like this, and now you come in here, and you go pull this, and you wanted to come in here, but Ethan flares. I should be following him up also. This is the part that's important to me right now. Once you come up to this position, I somehow don't want him to re-drag me, because what's gonna happen is, at a higher level, he's gonna go and bail on me early on the drag, so that he can beat the angle on the turn again to re-drag me. I'll explain right now. Ethan and I'll do it really slow. I come like this, and now I'm like this, and I'm reaching. So he dumps early, and now he's like this, reaching for my back. And now I'm like, this is where I wanted to do to him earlier. So now I feel him reach, and I'm flaring also, because I want to beat him on the turn again. So now you start to see how the wheels will go, okay? So I never wanted to get there. I didn't want you to re-drag me. So he'll bail early on you. So I got to bail early again. Now we go into this like little spinning rotation, right? But we're not going to go there yet. Okay, I come here like this. I shoot long and I'm pulling. And now Ethan is flaring. I just came up. The moment as I'm coming up, I care about one thing. It's in my head right now. As I'm coming up, I'm flaring and dropping my hand here because I want to stop him from coming around the turn again. So when Ethan comes up again on his turn, I'm here with this hand blocking the far turn again. So if he bails on me, but if he bails early on me, you got to read it. If I realize you're coming out, I'm going to bail again on you early too, right? So right now we're going to just do the drill simple, right? I'm asking you, when you come up, this part's easy. In the beginning, when you learn it, okay, I know it's uncoordinated, but you get better at it. You're hyper aware of where you're losing the angles. I'm like this, and I'm pulling this thing through. Now Ethan's flaring. Perfect. This is what we're doing. All we're doing, we got connection to him. My head's going to stay here, and I'm just going to retract my legs. Sometimes you're going to be able to grab this. Sometimes. Right? Come back with it. I'm like this, and I'm starting to reach. And now he's more of a novice, and not a lot of BJJ time, or he just never gets into these positions. I'm like this, and I'm reaching like this, and now Ethan starts flaring. Okay. So I just grab onto the back of the hamstring. And now Ethan, continue to flare. I'm not going to move. He's going to bring me up, right? So that's what you're going to see sometimes, because you were reaching back here. And now he feels you grabbing, and now you're going to hike him up. And the move that we did is number one. And now he flares, so you're just going to catch that back of the hamstring and shoot up like a rocket. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm putting it in your head that happens all the time. All the time, okay? So you're like this. And you come in here and you start pulling it. And now I know you wanted to do number one. I get it. You want to come in here, heist him up, but now he's flaring, okay? So all I'm going to do is just scissor out my legs. So I just S them out, and this is what I'm doing tonight. When I come up and he lands, where's his hand going? It's going, it's blocking that turn on the far side for you not to come up. As we land here, I'm going to flare again too. So I'm flaring also and driving back into him into a side control set. Just understand something. I have this hand here on the drag. I don't want to have both hands here. Not about the submission. You're not going to get me on a silly neck crank. That's not going to happen. Like they do this position. This used to be really popular years ago. If you get caught on that, you guys sit a timeout in the corner. Okay? So I was like this, and my hands were here, right? If this hand was on this side, it would matter to me because he would stuff my tricep line and then recover his legs. But that's not right now where we are, okay? So right now I'm fine with this grab. When I came up, I'm just going to re-clear my hips up line and now take command of whatever pocket, whatever way he turns. I don't know how he's going to turn yet. Okay, so let's part up and do it. You're on for the same cycles, guys. 90 seconds, 2 rounds. So go down a second. Right, he hits me with a drag, right? And now in IBJJ, I may decide to bail early, obviously. In competition or in class, like, hell, I don't really care if I sat and you were top, but if you have a mindset of competing, you do not accept going down, man. Hell no. So I'll close the pocket because I don't want to get reversed. I don't know the outcome off the second spin. So you're going to tell me, so you bailed on thinking you're going to drag again, you just sat down, and now you're down 2, or it was the end of the fight, and that's what you thought? Like, you've made some bad decisions there, right? So I'm like this, and he's dragging. I'm going, I'm closing this pocket, like trying my best, like not let you come around me, and I don't want to go down. Like, I'll bail later, but not yet. And now 8th is pulling me in, and now they pick this leg up, right? Because something has to push them back. It's not going to be this leg. Something does. Otherwise, you're going to drag him up, right? And you should be able to heist him up, because one of the drills that we were doing was I was teaching you how to heist him on top, heist him on top, heist him on top, heist him on. So now you start to see how the drills attach and why we do certain things, right? So anything on this pattern, when you're like this, I'm going here and I'm trying, and now 8th is, and I'm trying to heist this guy up, and he brings this leg up. Don't bring that, don't do it yet. He brings this leg up to close his pocket. So now we're going to go right into Ashi's, okay? On this one, I'm going to ask you to reap, because especially Bert, I don't know if you guys know, but Bridget did exceptional this week, and so did Peyton. Peyton won bronze in an exceptional weight class, and Birdie won gold in exceptional weight class, and just submission after submission. So, and she's able to do, Peyton not yet, but Bird's able to do heel hooks. So I do want to reap at this point. I'm like this, okay? And now he just closed, and I just told you why, okay? So I'm going to ask you to shoot this and pull it at the same time. This is where my hand was, right behind the kneecap. So he's closing this so tight on me that I can't come out, right? And I'm this at this point. So I'm just going to shoot this leg and pull at the same time. So as I pull, I yank. And this is where I am. I'm still in a great spot. I only care about one thing right now, you not refacing me. I don't want to throw this guy, right? And now we're saying we can reap at this point. I don't want to throw this guy at the hip. And now 8th starts standing up. And now he starts burying this kneecap through the pocket and now starts coming forward. So the only way I can stop that is not putting this heel to this hip line. It's literally taking this heel and throwing it all the way over. You got to see Gordon Ryan. I'll show you guys stuff on those sequences on the shells that he did on Nick Rodriguez, but it's the same principle. Gordon never stopped throwing over the thigh to break the angle so Nick Rodriguez couldn't come back, and now he had to run. I want the same principle. So I am not attaching my heel to your hip. I cared about one thing, putting my foot inside the pocket so that you can't reface me. So I'm like this, right? I'm like this. He picks this up, and I'm like this. So as I fall back, I made this clear pocket. My heel is not coming to his hip, okay? That's a rule setting that why people did that. That IBJJ didn't let you reap. Black and brown, in class, you reap. You do not go, you don't do this. You don't put your foot on a person's hip. Like, there's no purpose of this. I'm here, my rule set in class is to submit. So I take this leg and I throw it over. And now, because I have this attachment, it's easy for me to make this rotation, and if he doesn't, I'll finish the heel now. But on the rotation, I don't stop. I would prefer we don't continue going over, right? So I'm holding the top leg and my hands are positioned. Now I'm shelving that ankle. Once I have the ankle, I'm looking to shelve the ankle on the inside portion of the wrist. There's different combinations, and we'll go over the combinations later. Right now, let's keep it simple. I'm trying to put the heel on my wrist. My hands are together, and I'm rotating. I will not go through the rotations yet because the rotations are going to have different angles on it. So this time, he's closing the pocket. I'm shooting it. I am reaping. I am reaping. I cared about one thing. You're not refacing me. I don't want to have to take it where you go vertical above me. Okay, so let's part up. Let's do it. Heel hooks. Not a lot of people pulling them off, right? The guys go into like a rotational spin and go, bah, and then they either roll out of bounds or they get it. And then you have to see it over and over, over and over, over and over. Even like when Ty Rotolo finished, Cade Rotolo finished that heel hook, it's only because Mika got stuck in that position, right? But the ones that did get finished is because the person was locked and stopped the rotations, right? So if you're like this, pick this leg up, right? And I come like this. Let's say I went here, right? See that leg? Like, so I see people taking their legs out. Keep going with me. And now he's not going to keep rolling and keep rolling. And now he's going to keep corkscrewing over. And now you're not stopping any of the corkscrews. And the guy's just going to go, and then you think like, oh, yeah, I finished the heel. You finish him in class, dude. Like that. Come on. Come and pick this leg up. I'm like this, and I threw it over, right? And now 8th is going on the spin, spinning. Can he continue spinning? I'm not letting that leg go, right? I see people taking these legs out, and now the corkscrew is just going to keep going. So something's got to stop their corkscrew. And in Gordon's match, you saw him come in on the inside and then hook it here with it. Doesn't matter which way I do it. right? But I have to stop the rotational spins, right? You're never gonna, whether, it doesn't matter what position they are. But now you got to say, like, nobody finished, like high levels on an outside heel hook like that with your legs, like, okay, they finished it in purple and brown, or you know what, it's Masters 12, like, it's not, come on, it's not happening. So you got to understand the rotational spins. How you capture them are going to be different patterns, but you got to stop the spin, right? You also can't leave the leg long. You know, I got to bend it. That's critical in it, because I got to stop the turn. Can I have it for a second? So if I'm like this with a straight leg trying to lay down this way, with a straight leg trying to finish a heel hook, that's really hard. You got to beat my turn. I somehow got to bite this thing in, and I want this thing bent. So it's difficult for him to do the corkscrews, right? This is easy, right? But when it's like this and it's pressed and it's tight and I'm like this, I'm not letting that thing unbend, right? We'll go through patterns on this later in the weeks, but what I want you to do is, right now, the pattern I did was this. When this leg came up and I leaped, I never let go, and I would have loved to put this leg under this calf muscle so that I really lock this in and cinch it. Now if it goes to roll, it's very difficult for him. Even after the first roll with me, how does the roll keep going? I don't stop pressing on that leg because I want to break this before the rotations keep going on the spin cycles, right? So try your best to understand what I'm doing, I mean, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I got to stop those rotational spins. Otherwise, I'm not going to have the chance to pop the ligament, right? So let's do, we got about, actually, guys, you know what? I'll pick it up again on Friday. I couldn't do today's drilling class. On Friday, I'm going to show you different patterns. If you're thinking about competing, be here Friday. They're the most critical portions of the high-level games and the transitional points this Friday, guys. Okay, guys? If you forget, go on Happy Pill. Those videos were non-stop on how we get behind here, how we insert, how we recover, hip flips, everything. So you should be really kind of coordinated if you read long. If you haven't, if I see you all messed up, I'll be yelling at you. You don't watch the Happy Pill. Okay, guys? So let's do it.